If you're a Harry Potter fan visiting Tokyo, or even just someone who appreciates beautifully crafted experiences, there's a little pocket of magic waiting for you in Nerima Ward, just outside the city center. It's called the Warner Brothers Studio Tour Tokyo, the making of Harry Potter. And let me tell you, it's not just a stop, it's a journey into the wizarding world. Your adventure begins at Ikebukuro Station, one of Tokyo's major transport hubs. Hop on the Seibu Ikebukuro line, and in just about 17 minutes, you'll arrive at Toshimain Station. As soon as you get off the train, you'll notice that the magic continues here too. The station itself has been subtly redesigned to reflect the charm of the wizarding world, with warm-toned bricks, softly glowing lamps, and whimsical design touches. There are even statues in the square outside that give you the feeling you've just stepped into a storybook. From the station, it's only a short 2-minute walk to the studio entrance. Try to arrive about 30 to 60 minutes ahead of your scheduled entry time. This gives you the chance to pass through security comfortably, snap a few photos outside, and browse the studio shop before your official tour time. The shop is packed with Tokyo-exclusive merchandise. Think wands, house robes, notebooks, candies, and even themed accessories that are perfect for gifting or keeping as souvenirs. Once you pass through security, your magical journey begins in the lobby. And let me tell you, the excitement is hard to miss. The atmosphere already feels a little enchanted. You'll notice design touches that hint at what's ahead, from house-themed accents to familiar Harry Potter imagery. Staff members are friendly and helpful, and everyone seems just as eager as you are. There's this quiet buzz in the air, visitors snapping early photos, exchanging smiles and adjusting scarves in their house colors. You know something special is about to happen. From the lobby, you're guided through a softly lit gallery lane where movie posters from all 8 Harry Potter films line the walls. It's a simple but emotional moment, especially if you grew up with the series. The posters almost act like a timeline, walking you back through your memories of the story, from the Philosopher's Stone to the epic finale of The Deathly Hallows. You'll find yourself pausing, smiling, and remembering where you were in your life when each film came out. Then comes a shift. You're invited into the cinema, a comfortable, intimate space where you and your fellow visitors take a seat. The lights dim, and a short welcome film begins to play. This isn't just an introduction. It's a heartfelt tribute to the creators, the cast, and the magic of the Harry Potter universe. As the music swells and familiar scenes flicker across the screen, it really sinks in. You're not just visiting a museum. You're about to step behind the curtain and into the very world that brought the magic to life. And just when the excitement peaks, the screen slowly rises, yes, lifts like a curtain, and right behind it, the doors to the studio swing open. That moment is pure goosebumps. For many visitors, this is when it all feels real. You step through those doors and suddenly, you're not just watching the films anymore, you're walking straight into them. As you step through the open doors, the first major location that greets you is none other than the Great Hall. And it's just as awe-inspiring as you've imagined. This is the very heart of Hogwarts. The tall stone walls, long wooden dining tables, ornate fireplace, and house banners hanging proudly from the ceiling. It all feels incredibly familiar yet surreal when you see it in person. What's amazing is that this room isn't just a replica. It's based on the actual film set, built using original references and props. You might even spot mannequins dressed in student robes, some in Gryffindor red, others in Slytherin green, each representing different scenes from the films. If you're lucky and visiting during a seasonal event like Halloween or Christmas, the hall might be decorated with pumpkins or glittering trees, just like in the movies. It's a beautiful photo opportunity and sets a magical tone for the rest of your visit. From there, you'll flow into the production design area. This part of the tour dives into the early creative stages of making the films, how the world of Harry Potter was imagined and designed from paper to screen. You'll see original sketches, blueprints, and concept art that show how the sets and environments evolved. It's a fascinating look at how Hogwarts came to life, and it gives you a new appreciation for the amount of thought and creativity behind every tiny detail. Whether it's the curve of a corridor or the texture of a stone wall, it all started with a pencil and imagination. Next, you climb the iconic marble staircase, which, if you've seen the films, you'll recognize right away. Though the one in the studio doesn't actually move like it does in the movies, just standing there feels cinematic. You're in the very space where countless Hogwarts moments were filmed. Students hurrying to class, secret meetings, and first-year nerves. It's one of those areas where you instinctively slow down and take your time, letting yourself absorb the surroundings. After that, you enter Living at Hogwarts, a cozy and detailed section that brings to life various student spaces from the films. You'll find the Gryffindor common room recreated down to the last cushion and fireplace. The set is rich in texture, deep reds, embroidered tapestries, worn-in armchairs, and it almost feels like someone just stepped out for a potions class. You'll also see areas like the boys' dormitory, complete with beds that look small now because the actors outgrew them, but are full of charm. This space feels especially nostalgic, as it captures the everyday life of the students that fans have come to know so well. Next up is the costume and props area, a real treasure trove for fans of detail. Here, you'll get to see the actual costumes worn by the cast, from school uniforms to Yule Ball gowns, and the props that made each scene feel alive. Want to see the Marauders map up close? The Triwizard Cup? Even tiny details like spellbooks, quills, and Weasley inventions are all on display. It's easy to lose track of time in this section because there's so much to take in. Then comes Learning at Hogwarts, where you'll peek into iconic classrooms like Potions and Defense Against the Dark Arts. The Potions classroom is especially atmospheric. Dark, moody lighting, bubbling cauldrons, and hundreds of labeled jars line the shelves. Look closely, and you'll see ingredients straight from the wizarding world. Dumbledore's office is also tucked into this section, with its mysterious instruments, crystal pensive, and wise, grand atmosphere. It's quiet, almost reverent, and fans often linger here longer than they expected. After you leave the halls of Hogwarts, you step into the shadows of the Forbidden Forest. The temperature feels like it drops just a bit, and the light dims to a twilight hue. Twisted trees arch overhead, thick roots stretch across the path, and the air feels eerily still. It's beautifully atmospheric, with sound effects and lighting that make you feel like you're really walking through the woods just beyond the castle walls. Don't be surprised if you come across a hippogriff or even Aragog and his family, lurking just out of the light. It's spooky, but not too scary. Children often walk through wide-eyed, and adults slow down to take in the craftsmanship of the set. After braving the forest, you'll find yourself outside Hagrid's hut, a cozy, rustic scene that feels wonderfully familiar. The wooden beams, large chairs, oversized props, and even Hagrid's beloved dog Fang, all there. You can peek inside the hut's window or admire the pumpkin patch nearby, where many quiet and heartwarming scenes from the films took place. It's a great photo spot, and you'll often hear people fondly saying, "It really feels like Hagrid might walk out at any moment." Feeling hungry or ready for a quick rest? You'll come to the Backlot Cafe and Butterbeer Bar, the perfect halfway break. This is where you can sit down and enjoy hot meals, snacks, and themed treats. Of course, trying butterbeer is a must. It's sweet, frothy, and comes in souvenir mugs. You'll often see kids proudly holding theirs like a trophy, and couples sipping it while smiling for selfies. The cafe itself is warm and welcoming, and the food is hearty enough to refuel you for the second half of the tour. And now begins the second half of your magical journey. You'll enter the station platform area, stepping into platform 9 3/4. This section is breathtaking. There's a full-sized Hogwarts Express waiting for you, just as it was in the films. You can pose with a trolley half pushed through the brick wall, just like Harry on his first journey. The sound of the train, the soft steam rising, and the vintage luggage piled nearby make it all feel very real. You can even board a section of the train to walk through a recreation of the carriages and imagine the famous trio sharing sweets or plotting their next move. Just beside the platform is a charming railway shop, where you'll find exclusive merchandise and travel-themed souvenirs. There are Hogwarts Express items, plush owls, and adorable train tickets made into notebooks and bags. It's a little side stop that surprises many visitors with its curated charm. Next, the path leads you into the grand and mysterious London Ministry of Magic set. This area is full of dramatic flair, towering green fireplaces, polished black tile walls, and statues that look like they've come straight from wizarding politics. You'll feel the tone shift here, It's imposing and cinematic, reminding you of all the drama and secrets from the later films. From politics to practical magic, you'll move into the creature effects area, also called the Creature Shop. This is where magical beasts are brought to life. Think goblins, hippogriffs, mandrakes, and even house elves. You'll see prosthetics, animatronics, and behind-the-scenes videos explaining how the creatures were designed and operated. Watching Dobby come to life through models and animation always draws a crowd. His presence is still so emotional and beloved. Right after that, you'll enter the Broomstick Experience, a fun, interactive section where you can pose in front of a green screen and fly over London or Hogwarts on a broomstick. It's lighthearted and great for all ages. You'll see everything from giggling children to adults really getting into character. You can purchase the video afterward, which makes for a unique souvenir. Then it's on to the Art of Sound, a space that often surprises people with how interesting it is. You'll learn how sound effects were made, from the clinking of wands to the whoosh of Quidditch. There are hands-on displays where you can try matching sounds to scenes, and it adds a whole new layer of appreciation to how these movies were built from the ground up. From there, you turn a corner and suddenly find yourself in the spellbinding streets of Diagon Alley. It's a wow moment. The cobbled street, crooked rooftops, glowing shop signs, and magical displays all make this space one of the most immersive parts of the tour. You'll pass Ollivander's Flourish and Blots, and Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, each window filled with whimsical and weird props. The lighting changes as you walk, giving the street an almost living, breathing quality. You'll then walk through the graphic design section where you'll see all the tiny but crucial pieces that helped build this world. Newspapers, textbooks, chocolate frog boxes, Quidditch posters, and more. These are the details that fans love to spot, and it's impressive how much thought went into every piece of printed material in the wizarding world. And then, one of the most awe-inspiring sights on the tour, the Hogwarts Castle Model Room. This large-scale, incredibly detailed model of the castle is displayed with lighting that shifts from dawn to dusk. The atmosphere is quiet, almost reverent, as visitors walk slowly around it. It's beautifully done and hard to walk away from. It feels like a love letter to the fans and the legacy of the films. Your final steps lead you into the Wand Room, a softly lit gallery lined with wand boxes. Look closely, and you'll find the names of cast and crew members from all 8 films on each box. It's a heartfelt way to honor everyone who helped bring the story to life, and many visitors get a little emotional here. It's like whispering a quiet thank you before exiting the magical world. Then finally, the path takes you to the Studio Shop, a spacious and beautifully arranged store filled with every kind of Harry Potter merchandise you can imagine. Whether you're after a house-themed cloak, a plush Hedwig, or a jar of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans, this is the place to get it. It's the perfect place to pick up a keepsake that'll always remind you of your journey. Before heading out, make a final stop at the food hall or the whimsical Frog Cafe, both located by the foyer. The food hall is ideal for a relaxing meal in a warm, Great Hall-inspired setting, while the Frog Cafe is perfect for sweet treats like chocolate frog cakes and themed lattes. It's a lovely place to sit down, flip through your photos, and savor the last few magical moments of your visit. Whether you're visiting with kids, enjoying a magical date, or exploring solo, the Tokyo Harry Potter Studio Tour offers an experience full of charm, wonder, and heart. It's more than a tour. It's a memory in the making. And as you step back into the real world, don't be surprised if a little bit of that magic comes with you.